And we are live. This is so fun. Welcome, Shalom family. Welcome to our Zoom call today. My name is Kaylin Santos, and I'm the International Programs Director for the Shalom Foundation. And today I am joined by some very special guests all the way from Guatemala. We have our Executive Director, Pedro. We have our Medical Director, Dr. Ligia, and of course, our development director, and we're so excited to be with you guys today. We just wanted to hop on a call and give our friends over in the U.S. and around the world just a live update from Guatemala. This year has been so incredibly different than any other that we've ever experienced and that you've ever experienced, I'm sure. And so we've gotten a lot of questions about the Moore Center, just how we're doing as an organization, how our patients are faring throughout this pandemic. And so we thought we would just hop on a Zoom call and get some of those questions answered for you guys, and also give you a chance to just interact with our staff in Guatemala, which is incredible. We're so grateful for Zoom this year. It has gotten us through the year, hasn't it, you guys? I can't imagine what we would have done without Zoom, and I'm sure a lot of you guys at home feel the exact same way. So with that, I thought we could just jump into about 5 to 6 questions that we've gotten a lot over this past year from our donors and from our medical teams, and just hear from the team in Guatemala and just hear what's going on at the Moore Center. So I think, we will just start with you. I'm going to shoot this question over to you. How has COVID-19 impacted Guatemala as a whole, and especially our patients and their families?
Okay, so there's a before and after COVID. Poverty levels in Guatemala increased over 30%.
Yeah.
Now a quarter of Guatemalans live under. This means that they have less than $1 to survive. Guatemala was the motor formal economy, and most of the commerce was done in the street. After the pandemic and the shutdown, able to work. So that's big. That's one big issue. Another would have been that not only we had COVID, but then we had ETA and we have IOTA, all of this catastrophe affecting. So the rest of our economy who did to agriculture, all of their way of living and income just went off with it. So Guatemala, it's in a that we went back almost 30 years. We had achieved in development. And on top of it all of our medical national system, who was already collapsed and corrupted, basically disappeared and shut down. We don't eat enough waste. We don't have enough COVID testing, for example. Yeah. Would be completely normal. So basically our patients, this has impacted our patients in so many levels. We were talking with a family and they were saying that they had to choose between buying soap to wash their hands and their clothes and buying food. Some things we take for granted. So not only the surgical need that they have, it's being put into hold, but at the same time, their priorities have shifted. Yeah. Some of our families have had to pick between one meal a day. They used to make 2 or 3 and now just 1. So it has been heartbreaking for us.
And I'm so sorry to interrupt you really quickly, but while I'm thinking about it, I wonder if our viewers at home would wonder about why they've gone from 3 meals a day to 1. Is that due to tourism and because there's a lack of tourism coming into Guatemala, so the families don't have as much income coming in from that, or can you explain that a little bit?
Yes, a lot of obviously all tourism was shut down. So agriculture was affected, tourism was affected. And also a lot of people were laid off. We have the story of Camila, who one of our Colorado team members helped. But some people were living in a house and then they had to leave the house. They couldn't pay rent. They had to go find a room in somebody else's home. And even that they couldn't make a living because they couldn't go on the street and buy and sell anything. Yeah. So the fact that we have closeness and relationship with them has given us a perspective. Another thing is that most of them now don't have a phone number. They don't have a cell phone because they can't pay for cell phones. So for our social workers to find them and to give them follow-up calls or to call them for ortho post-follow-up has been a challenge. So this has shifted everything we have done in our model.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that actually is a great segue, Mai, into this next question that we have in. So I think I'll just go ahead and let you take it as well, if you don't mind. Since mission teams aren't able to travel to Guatemala at this time, what support has the Moore Center been able to give these patients and just the community that has struggled so much going from 1 or 3 meals a day to 1, and then having to choose between, you know, whether they're going to be able to be clean with soap or to have a meal that's so foreign to so many of us, but such a real fact that so many are facing. So how have we been able to step in for our patients?
The incredible thing that we see a blessing in this crisis, I know it sounds kind of crazy, but we have been closer to our mission than ever. Mm-hmm. Even though we haven't been able to provide surgeries yet, we have been providing hope and healing. So we have pivoted to food supplies and COVID-19 prevention supplies. On one hand, through our White Flag Survival Kit that all of you, our sponsors, have so kindly supported us through. Yeah. We had never seen this in Guatemala. But then when the shutdown was middle term, let's say, when we could go out on certain schedule under certain circumstances, we'd start seeing people in the streets with their whole families in the corners, like waving white flags. Yeah. That meant that people didn't have food. Mm-hmm. Or you drive by and you'd see on the homes white flags outside their homes. Yeah. So what we did is that we shifted the whole medical facility into a production facility. Mm-hmm. And obviously our nurses, our biotech, our accountant, everybody just like shifted to make these White Flag Survival Kits. And the liaisons that we have with local leadership like churches, municipalities, or other non-for-profits were the filter after we took care of our patients, were the filter to find more need and to be able to supply. So it's been incredible because ever since we have been able to supply over 70,000 meals. It's just incredible. And we could not have done it without the support of all these generous people in the US. And the other thing is that our staff visited some of these families to deliver the bags. Mm. So even though we are so grateful that we still have a job and we still have a salary, most of our staff are just regular working people. And the fact that they had the opportunity to step on this reality of people who live 5 minutes away from them, who hadn't been eaten for a long time, and to see their faces and say, this is an answered prayer. God has not forsaken us. It has changed our lives in so many ways. So we're grateful for that. And other thing that we are still doing is our nutritional program for cleft lip and palate babies or patients. Yeah. When they come to the Moore Center, most of them are severely malnourished, not only because of poverty, but because of their condition. So they cannot receive the surgery until they have the right hemoglobin level, the right weight and length. So we obviously kept on, and this is the highlight of our month, to see little kids come in and to watch them grow. They don't cry anymore when they come to the hospital or see Dr. Alicia. So we have been able to support our milk program, giving 480 treatments. What do we mean by this? It's a bag for specifically nutritional products for their age. Yeah. So some of them, because of COVID-19, there is no public transportation in Guatemala still, let me tell you. Right. So we managed through some other organizations to send, or we shipped basically nutritional packages up to 300 miles away from Guatemala City. That's wild. Just to make sure that they're not, they keep on with their nourishment, and when the doctors from the US are able to come back, they will be ready for their awaited surgery.
So the two highlights that I take away from that, thank you so much, Mai, is that our little foundation was able to provide 70,000 meals so far, and we're still going because you guys are still giving towards the White Flag Survival Kit. And it's such a huge need that we have. Thank you for giving towards it. Thank you for caring about these people. Clearly, it's making a massive impact. 70,000 meals is just no joke. And we have been able to just go beyond our boundaries of having patients come to us and reach out into 300 miles of Guatemalan territory and reach people all the way out in outlying villages. And we couldn't do it without you guys. So I hope that that has been such an encouragement to you to know how we've been able to pivot as an organization and how many people we've been able to touch and help through the gifts that you guys have given. So with that, I know we have a couple medical questions, and the only person to do that, of course, is Dr. Lihia. So Dr. Lihia, one of the questions that we've gotten often this year has been, is the Moore Center attending COVID-19 patients in Guatemala? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, so the hospital is COVID-19 free area, and that allowed us to keep providing follow-up for our patients and nutritional assistance to our cleft lip and palate patients and continue seeing our patients. But we have developed a telehealth program, and we have attended around 180 consultations because we see a patient that has COVID-19 for 7 days. So we do a follow-up since the first day. They call us and said that they have COVID-19 and it's for companies. And we established phone call and a video call with the person who's sick and explain them how they need to isolate themselves in their homes and how they can prepare their home for their families to not get infected. And then we continue to do a follow-up through at least 7 days for them to see how they develop the disease. Yeah. And we send a report to the company who send them to us so they can know what to expect of their employed, and as well what they need to do to keep them safe and to keep them working. So it has been a blessing to work with them and explaining and calm them down, because most of these families are very, very scared because our national hospitals are crowded and ICU units are completely full. So they are not receiving patients, and having the blessing of having at least once a day a call of a doctor explaining what to do and how to keep it safe at home has been very helpful for these families.
Yeah, absolutely. And so basically for our viewers at home, what Dr. Lihia is saying just in a nutshell is that our facilities are still COVID free, in that we're not bringing patients in to the Moore Center right now because we have to keep that place safe and protected for our patients that are coming in to do pre and post-op with Dr. Lihia, as well as our milk program and nutritional program that Mai was speaking about earlier. Our patients still need somewhere to go and to be seen and to talk about, you know, what next steps are going to be in their program and their nutritional program, or for post-op care, you know, what next steps would be. And so for us to be able to have them safely at the Moore Center, we have to keep that area COVID free. But Dr. Lihia's telehealth program that she has created is just phenomenal. And the way that she has reached out, her and her staff have reached out to our patients and to just other companies within Guatemala, just to show them we can do this online and we can make sure that you guys are going to be taken care of and get everything that you need if you do test positive for COVID. Because like she said, the medical facilities and the hospitals are just overrun right now. So I'm really proud of that program, really proud of Dr. Lihia for all of the pivoting she's had to do as the medical director of a surgical center. Now she's working in telehealth, she's doing post-op care, she's got nutritional. I mean, it's just been such an incredible journey for everyone at the Moore Center, but really amazing to watch her pivot in such a beautiful way. And we do have one more medical question that I would love to give to you, Dr. Lihia, and that is, when are our surgical teams going to be able to come back to the Moore Center?
So we're very excited that the vaccine it's going out soon. Yeah. And we hope that once our medical teams have been vaccinated and are safe to come, we will be able to start bringing them in. And we're expecting that that will happen the second half of the next year. But in the meantime, we have some urgent surgeries that needs to be done because our patients have been waiting for so long, and some of them are age mandatory to be done, or they will not have good results.
Right.
So some of our teams have joined us to do some telehealth medicine and see those patients through telehealth and help our Guatemalan surgeons to perform those surgeries in the next months. So we're expecting that we can open the hospital and start doing surgeries at the end of January, but we will be able to receive teams physically on the in the Moore Center the second half of the year.
Yay. We are hoping and praying that that is our new time frame. We reached out to our medical teams and to our mission teams and let them know, oh, it's just so hard to not have them at the Moore Center. That's just, you know, something that our team and patients look forward to, or seeing these teams that have come back year after year, their relationships that are built there. And it's been so hard to not have our teams come in 2020, but we know that that's the right decision. We know that for the safety of everybody involved, that's just a decision that we had to make, like so many other organizations and people that have had to make hard decisions this year in 2020. But we are so hopeful that with the vaccine starting to roll out now, that by May, June of 2021, we'll be able to host our medical and our mission teams back at the Moore Center. So very excited, very hopeful for that. Of course, we're trying to temper it because you just never know with COVID right now, but that is our hope. So let's pivot a little bit. Pedro, I would love to talk to you. Just first, let's just talk for a second about how the staff are doing. This has been such a crazy year, and there's had to have been so much newness in everything that's happened, switching completely from just being a surgical center, which we did so well, to now bringing in nutrition, and how, as a whole, how are the staff doing? What's the morale like?
Well, I have to admit it, that thank God all people are very honorable. And the first thought came into their mind is, if the hospital is not running anymore, what we are going to do? So everyone come to us and offer it, okay, whatever you want to do, we are more than happy to do it. So we start to praying, and thank God we made a very quick decision to pivot our mission and start to help in the middle of this economic crisis due to the pandemic. You know, in the timeline that a lot of people start to losing their jobs, and all the crises come like a huge wave of problems to everyone. So we start to thinking on them. Of course, the first was to thinking of the patient, but then we see that a lot of people have the same problems. So we start to moving for doing the food bags, which become a huge blessing. And everyone start to working very hard. You know, people used to work in the hospital, nurses taking care of the patient. Now you're seeing them to collect all the items in the food bags, or everyone working to get the better quotes, everything, you know, the people, we have an amazing team in the organization. I feel very proud of them. Mm-hmm. And everyone were very willing to do whatever they have to, especially, and was very nervous to send them out to the communities, because we never did that before.
Right.
We never did that before. I was so concerned about that, but they were the people to say, no, we have to go. We have to see that the first hand, and we need to give it away to the people and pray for them. So I stayed to keep praying for them.
Yeah.
And now I had a huge blessing to doing that. So the whole organization changed. We were focused only in the hospital for so long, but now we are turning to a humanitarian organization to help in so many ways, you know, that it become a huge blessing. So if you want to sum up, it's a huge learning process to everyone. Mm-hmm. Thank God everyone still is with us. Yeah. The Lord keep us safety, so we have the resources to pay the payroll and everything. Thank God, and thank for the sponsors and the donors. But everyone are working very hard in other roles. which
And
is
that
amazing.
is one of the questions that we have received most, which Pedro just answered, but we'll just go over it quickly again, is how are the staff doing and have we been able to keep all of our staff? Because you guys know almost all of our staff had a position and a job within the hospital. And with the hospital not being able to function entirely, a lot of our donors, which is so precious to me that they called in and checked and emailed and wrote and said, how are the staff doing? And are you guys able to keep them all employed? And there were a few months there, weren't there, Pedro, where you and I and Steve and the board and everyone, we were really worried. We didn't know. We didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know if we were going to be able to make payroll for a few months there. And we did a lot of praying and we did a lot of trusting. And really, we saw our donors show up in the most beautiful and incredible way. And we are so grateful for that for you guys. We're so grateful to the Lord because we feel, and I know this, the four of us have talked about this so many times, we feel like we've seen miracles this year happen within the organization. And so what Pedro just said a few minutes ago, and which I would love for him to reiterate, is that so far we have been able to keep all of our staff fully employed.
It's a miracle, Kaylin. As you were saying, was a very difficult time, and was a time that I couldn't make any promises to anyone.
Right.
You know, I couldn't say, hey, everyone are safety here.
Yeah.
The invitation to everyone is we need to pray and ask the Lord to keep us here.
Yeah.
And thank God everyone were very happy with that. Actually, one thing that with tradition that started with this pandemic was we begin every day praying. Today at 7 a.m. you will see everyone in the parking lot praying for the donors, praying for the board members, praying for everyone, asking to the Lord to keep in safety and give us more ideas how we can keep blessing more families here in Guatemala. So was a very challenging times, but we could see the hand of the Lord very tangible every day. So we are very grateful because of that.
That's amazing and so encouraging. I hope you at home just watching in are encouraged by this. I know we are just overwhelmed really this year by how the Lord has provided, and he's done so much of that through you guys. And so you have really blessed us this year, even though you haven't been able to travel to Guatemala or you haven't been able to go to the Meal That Heals this year, you have still blessed us in so many ways, and we're so grateful for you. And just to piggyback quickly off of that question, Pedro, I would love for you to answer. This is a beautiful question. How has this year in the midst of the pandemic grown the Shalom Foundation?
Oh my God. I think we grow in so many ways, you know, because I was saying before, we used to focus only in one amazing and beautiful project. We all love the Moore Center. And it's a huge need that we still see it in every little children in Guatemala. However, have the huge blessing to start to working in humanitarian aids, like provide food bags. And now the Lord sent us to the middle to the disaster and see the firsthand how the people suffering was amazing. We were very moved. We couldn't get back home for 3 days. Remember, I keep you post about that. But that give us the opportunity to see the reality in those places. And we're very grateful because the people respond very quickly to give us the help for all those people there. So we grow in the disaster relief, we grow to the nutrition, we grow to the food bags, we grow in the chaplain ministry too. We could go in along to the people to lose the pastors. And in the morning process. So it was a huge blessing that we could do it, and we could bless a lot of pastors because they have to shut down the churches too, so they lost the income. So we could be a channel to blessing to so many families to serve the Lord, and we are very happy because of that too. So we grow. It's amazing to say that. I don't know if so many organizations can tell that, but thanks to the Lord and thanks to the donors, we could grow in so many aspects. And now we have more presence in the communities because we were focused only in Guatemala City.
Yeah.
But now we have presence in so many communities through our local leadership, like Mike were saying, the municipalities, the pastors, and a lot of leadership there, that they are now calling us and tell what they need, in what way we can partner and help them. So
And we're becoming a trusted name now in the humanitarian space, whereas I mean, Dr. Ligia has done so much work to build up our reputation in the medical space, and we are so thankful that we are so well received in the medical space in Guatemala. But humanitarian efforts has never been something that our organization has really focused down deep on. We've done what we can. When the volcano happened, we definitely, provided what we could, but this year has really, really challenged us to go out and meet the exact need of the people, because they can't even think about getting a surgery if they don't have food in their bellies to be able to survive into next year, to look into getting surgeries. And so for us to be able to pivot as an organization and work in this nutritional space and go 300 miles outside of the city that we know and out of the communities that we know and reach those people, we're just really grateful for that. I think that's a great point, Pedro, is the further out we're going, the more trust we're starting to build within the communities out there as well, which is great. Thank you. This has been awesome. We have one final question, and that is, as the Shalom Foundation moves into 2021, what are our plans and how can we as donors support you? That's a great question for us to wrap up on, I think, and I'd be happy to share what our plans are for the new year. As we have mentioned already on this call, COVID-19 has made us really have to pivot as an organization, and we knew that coronavirus had created this second pandemic in Guatemala, which is the serious food crisis that we just talked about. And so one way that you guys can continue to give is through our White Flag Survival Kit. Hunger is very much just going to be an ongoing problem. And so we've decided as an organization that this is a way that we can directly combat the food insecurity that Guatemalans are facing. And so our White Flag kits are absolutely here to stay, and we're still in need of them every single day. And so one way that you guys can give is through our $99 White Flag Survival Kit program. And that will provide 8 weeks worth of food and cleaning supplies to stop the spread of COVID-19 to a family of 5. So that is a huge need that we have right now. And it's something that's so tangible that we can give these people and show them just Christ's love through filling them with the nourishment that they need to literally survive. And you can do that for $99. So we would love for you to join us in that way. Another way that you can help support our kids is through funding a critical surgery, which is something that Dr. Ligia mentioned earlier. She went through, and her social workers, they went through, and our entire list of over 2,000 patients. Isn't that right, Dr. Ligia? Yeah. So over 2,000 patients, they come through and they pick the top 150 children that are most in need of surgeries, whether that's because they're going to age out because we're only able to service children up to 18 years of age, or because there was just a need with what was going on with them personally to get this surgery done within the next 6 to 7 months. And so you can fund one of these 150 critical surgeries for $1,400. And that total price includes all of the pre-op care. It includes all of the post-op care and all of the supplies and all of the medical teams that are needed within that to make the surgery happen. So that is, a huge need that we have to make sure that these 150 kids get the surgeries that they need. We are going to do our best to get all of those surgeries funded by February, because we only have through May to get them done. So if you could partner with us in that way, if you can give half of that and then challenge another family member this Christmas season to meet you at that and do a matching gift, 700, you guys will be able to sponsor one child's surgery, and we would love for you to be able to participate in that way. If you have any questions about any one of these things that we've mentioned above, you can go to shalomfoundation.org/hope, HOPE, and it will explain the surgeries and the white flag kits even further, and you can give directly on that page. We have been asked about, how we're doing as far as admin goes with our staff, what are their needs? And I would love to invite you to give through general funding as well. That is the third and potentially the best way that you could give towards us, because then we can use that donation towards our greatest need for the month. So whether that's going to go towards a surgery that just has to be funded and we haven't gotten a donation in yet, or for a white flag kit, if we have a family that comes up and they're in desperate need and we didn't plan for that month, then we could use your donation towards a white flag kit. It might be part of our milk program that Mai mentioned earlier. We still have these little ones coming in once a month, and they need their nutrition so that they can grow healthy and strong and get the surgeries that they need next year. So we might use it towards that, or just whatever the need is. For that month for the Shalom Foundation, we can give your gift towards that. And so you would just give to our Give Healing, Give Hope general funding online as well. So those are 3 ways that you guys can help us throughout this Christmas season and into next year. We are so thankful for you guys. I know we've all mentioned that so far, that we are just beyond grateful for your support this year. It has been a rough year for so many, and we know that, and we value the fact that you have continued to check in with us. Even all the way over in Guatemala, you guys still care, and you're still emailing and calling and texting and asking how people are doing and what's going on and how you can help. And that just means the world to us. So really all we can say is thank you. We're just so grateful for your generosity, and we hope that you feel blessed this holiday season. Thank you guys for joining me today. I know this is going to be such a treat for our donors at home, and we just appreciate everything that the 3 of you do day in and day out for this organization.
Thanks for having us, and we're sending our love from Guatemala to all of you.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.